Chaf Daled Amud Beis on the bottom line on the last line. It's Rav Ashi Amar. We learned in the Mishnah that you're not supposed to use oil for the Shabbos lights if the oil was truma that's tamei. So why not? What's the problem? So the basis of that question is you shouldn't use oil of truma that's tamei and burn it on Yom Tov. That was the issue. You can't use it for the oil lamps on to light it on Yom Tov. You cannot let it burn shemen that's tamei, truma tmeya on Yom Tov. The question is why not? And the basis for that was because we have a mitzvah say to burn truma that's tamei. It says ba'esh tisreifel. And then we have a leisa say on Yom Tov of kol malach leisasa, don't work. So we should have the asay being deicha leisa say. A positive command can overpower a negative command. We'll see that later again today. So why over here specifically don't we say that? We should say the positive command of burning truma should overpower the negative command. So one source was from Chizkiah. We said it says twice by the Korban Pesach Ad Baiker, which tells me that I don't burn the Naisar that morning. I have to wait a second morning till after Yom Tov. Okay, another source was from Abaya. He says, Eily Shabbos b'Shabbat. I can only burn something on Shabbos or on Yom Tov if that's what it's meant for, if it's meant for that day. The last answer that we gave was from Rava. We said, Hu levada yaseh lachem. We learned that you can't do Mila Shlei Bismana on Shabbos, so for sure, or on Yom Tov, so for sure you can't do burn Truma Tmei also, anything that's not specifically for its time. Today we learn Rav Ashi Amar, another answer. Rav Ashi says Shabbosin, or Shabbos Shabbosin, is asay. It says that on Yom Tov you have to rest. Or on top of Chafei. So that's a positive command. So once you have a positive command on Yom Tov of resting, then automatically you lose the whole question. Now you have an asay and leisasay on Yom Tov. And the positive command of burning truma ba'esh tisreifel is not going to push off a positive and a negative. We thought it would push off a negative, but now we learned that there's a positive as well. The Gemara asks an interesting question. It says, B'yom Tov hudas or habachal shapidami. It sounds like you only can't burn it on Yom Tov, but in the weekday you have no problem burning it. Rashi explains that the question is, you have no problem burning it, and while you're burning it, getting enjoyment from it. Apparently, you're able to burn it and use it while you're burning it. The whole problem was burning it on... What do you have there?
There's a couple people in the neighborhood who unfortunately came down with coronavirus, not to mention Rabbi Learfield has a second name added. So if I could just say the names in this first.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So this is Shlomo Stein, who works in Parkway. He just came out of the ICU and now his wife has it. So his name is Shlomo Gershon Ben Duba Merrill. His wife is Leah Bas Anet. And Rabbi Learfield, they added the name Rav Raphael David Ben Eta Riva. So if the schus of our learning can help them. Thank you.
Beautiful Shlema.
Amen.
Okay. Hashem should protect us. Okay, so we said that apparently the issue is only on burning it on Yom Tov, but during the weekday you're allowed to burn it, and at the same time while you're burning it, get light from it, use it as light or get other benefits from it. My timer, what's the reason that you're allowed to get benefit from Truma Tmeya If you're obligated to burn it, who says you're allowed to get benefit from it? Amar Rav. So Rav says, Kshem shemitzvah lisrei fakadshim shenitmu. Just like there's a mitzvah to burn kadshim that became tamei. Kadshim means a sacrifice. Kach mitzvah lisrei is a truma shenitmus. There's also a mitzvah to burn truma that became tamei. Rashi says, well, it's similar to Kodesh, and also we don't want anyone to eat it. You're not allowed to eat it. But Amr Torah, and the Torah says, that while you're burning it, you're allowed to get benefit from it. Where does the Torah say that? Midir Rab Nachman. We know it from Rab Nachman. Rab Nachman, Amar Rabbi Baravua. Rab Nachman says the name of Rabbi Baravua, his father-in-law probably. Amar Kra. Pasuk says, I have given to you the guarding of my true mice. I guess truma si would be my truma. True mice is my true mice. The plural there, I guess it's the vav. That would be the makes it plural. It's talking about two true mice. Achas truma teira, v'achas truma tameya. So I've given to you two trumas, a pure truma, which is of course to eat, and another truma. What do you do with the other truma? The other truma is tamei. V'amrachman alacha, I've given it to you. Shalachate la'asaka tachas tavshilcha, that you can use it to burn under your stew, or which means you can get benefit from it while it's burning under your fire, under your stove. Okay, so we know that you can get benefit from truma tameya. The whole question is, can you burn it on Yom Tov? The Mishnah said no, and we gave several reasons why not. Another possibility is why are you allowed to have benefit from truma while it's burning? That we learned from Rabbi Vo. Amar Rabbi Vo, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Vo says the name of Rabbi Yochanan. This is talking about Ma'aser Sheni. It says, I did not consume the Ma'aser Sheni when either I was tamei or the Ma'aser Sheni was tamei. Ma'aser Sheni is brought to Yerushalayim and is supposed to be eaten in purity. It says, Mimenu, Ma'aser Sheni, iata mavir, avalat mevar shemen shel truma shenitmes. So the biarti is to destroy, to consume. That was only the Ma'aser Sheni I didn't. But you can destroy or burn the oil of truma that did become tamei. Okay, so we have a diuk. It says mimenu, from it. Didn't consume from it when it's tamei. It means only it I have a problem. Only Ma'aser Sheni. But something else, what is that something else? We said that's truma, that you're allowed to get benefit from and burn it when it's burn it and get benefit from its burning when it's tamei. The Gemara says, "Ve'ima mimenu iat mevar avalat mevar shemen shel kodesh shenitmes." Where do you get that from? Where do you get that it's referring to truma? Maybe it's referring to kodesh. I mean, just because it says it, and that tells me that there's something here that you're allowed to get benefit from while it's burning. How do you know it's truma? The Gemara says, "Lav kal v'chaymeru." It's obvious that it's not kodesh. Kodesh would mean sacrifices that are that became tamei. Maybe sacrifices that became tamei, when you burn them, you're able to use them under your stovetop to be able to cook your everything else or whatever. It says no, it's obvious. If you can't use Ma'aser Sheni, it's a kal v'chaymer. You can't use sacrifices. What's the kal v'chaymer? It says ma Ma'aser hakal. When it comes to Ma'aser, that which is lenient, the Torah says that when he's saying his vidui Ma'aser, when he's saying this passage, he says, I didn't do it wrong. I didn't do it incorrectly. I didn't consume it when it was tamei. Kodesh chamalei kolshkin, for sure. Kodshim, sacrifices, for sure. I didn't do that when I didn't consume it when it was tamei and get benefit from it while it's burning or whatever. The Gemara says, whoa, that's your Kal V'chaimer. That you're not allowed to, if Meiser Sheni you can't. For sure, Kachim, Yachi Truma Nami. So Truma is also more strict than Meiser. So Lema Kal V'chaimer. So say the Kal V'chaimer by Truma as well, that you're not allowed to get benefit from it while it's being burnt. The Gemara says, Haksiv Mimenu. But I have Mimenu. I have a pasuk that excludes something. So I have a Kal V'chaimer that says that I can't get benefit from Truma or Kachim. But I have a pasuk of Mimenu that tells me that I could get benefit from Truma or possibly Kachim when it's Tameh and being consumed. So I have a pasuk, so I have to use it for something. So I'm going to use it to tell me that I can get benefit from Truma while it's being burnt. Umar says, Amari Isa, what told you that the pasuk is referring to Truma? Maybe the pasuk is referring to Kachim. It says, Mistabra Kodesh Matin. It makes sense. It makes sense that Kodesh, Kachim, I can't get benefit from when it's Tameh and you have to destroy it. Shekain Simen, because we have a sign for this. It says, Panak Akam. That is a list of chumras that apply to Kachim. Chaim likes these types of simanim. We're going to add it up. We'll see. What are all of these things? The Gemara spells it out. It says, well, when it comes to a karban, first of all, you have the concept of pigul there. We're going to show that a karban is more strict than truma, and that's why if the pasuk is going to tell me that I can get benefit from one of them, it's going to be truma and not kachim. Well, because kachim, first of all, has pigul. Rashi says pigul is what we always knew was pigul, is that if someone shechts a sacrifice with the intention to eat it out of its appropriate time. Now, it doesn't matter when he ate it, but that intention turned the karban into pigul. Taisvis over here has an issue with that. He says that pigul over here doesn't mean that. He says pigul means chuslam kaimai. He had intention to eat it out of its place, out of the appropriate place. He says this pigul here in this Gemara is different than all of Shas, and which happens to be that the pasuk calls pigul chuslam kaimai. It's the Gemara that takes pigul from the pasuk and says it means chusl zmanei, out of the appropriate time, not out of the appropriate location. So, yeah, that's the first thing. Pigul, that's the stringency of kachim. Nicer is when it actually was left over. Not just you had intention to leave it over, or maybe you had perfect intention, but you actually left it over. And it's not allowed to be eaten then. And it's called the karban. Okay, that's the next thing. So we just got through the pei, nun, and kuf of the siman. Now the ayin stands for me'ila. I'm not sure why it does that. Why it drops the mem. It could have done the mem as well. Maybe there's a meaning to that word, panakakam. I don't know. Me'ila means that there is a concept of having personal benefit from a sacrifice. Now it depends, kachim or kachim kalim. Kachim kalim, there's only a problem of me'ila. There's different levels of holiness in sacrifices. If it's of lesser holiness, for example, a shlamim, so then only after the animal was slaughtered, then would there be a concept of me'ila in the limbs after the blood was sprinkled. If it's kachim, then there's me'ila even before that. And after the blood is sprinkled, it becomes the opposite. Certain parts of the animal are now permissible to be eaten and me'ila goes off. So whatever it is, by sacrifices, there's a concept of me'ila. And vikaris, if someone eats a sacrifice while he's tamei, there's, and the person's tamei, then there's karis, that's the punishment of karis, which karis means that he dies young and also his children pass away. And asr l'aynin. Asr, I'm sorry. That's the samach is asr, but it's referring to asr l'aynin. That means someone that a close relative passed away, is not allowed to eat from a sacrifice. Now, apparently, truma, you are allowed to eat from a sacrifice. Okay. The Gemara says, Adarabba, you're making it look like sacrifices are so strict that you can't have benefit from it because you have these 6 qualities that apply to a sacrifice. So therefore, the permissibility of using a sacrifice while it's that's tamei, while it's being burned, so strict. You have all of these things that these qualities that a sacrifice has. Adarabba, on the contrary, truma, we should not take truma away with the pasuk of mimeno. We shouldn't say that you're allowed to have benefit from truma because truma also has qualities that make it strict. What are those? Shekein machpaz. It has mem ches pei and zayin. Siman, that's the sign. What are those things? You see already what the Gemara is going to do. This is 4 and this is 6. Okay. First of all, there's misa. If a zar or someone that's tamei eats truma, it's misa b'dei shamai.
What was the letter for the chorus?
Kaf.
In that siman panka.
Akam. The kaf of akam. That was the chorus. And then the samech was the aser. We dropped the aleph. Yeah, I understand dropping the aleph. Maybe you don't put in letters that are, you only put in full consonants.
And ayin?
Ayin was me'ila. I don't know why they dropped the mem. It could be that it helps create a word that I'm not familiar with. So here we say, no, truma has machpaz. The first thing is misa. That's very strict. It's not as strict as kares, but it's strict. Chaymesh, if someone eats truma, he has to pay an extra 5th. If a zar eats truma, he has to pay first the keren, and he has to add an extra 5th to it. If he eats a b'shaygig, right? And what else? Ve'ein la pidyon. We're on top of Chav Hamid Bez. It can't be redeemed. There is such a thing as redeeming a sacrifice. It's before it's slaughtered, and there's a mum and whatever. There's possible redemption. Truma, there's no possible redemption. Basur and Lazarim, and a zar is not allowed to eat it by a sacrifice. There is a possibility for a zar to eat it. Certain sacrifices, the owners eat it, or shlamim, you could get your friends to come and eat it, and it could be eaten by anyone in Yerushalayim. So there is such a thing. Truma is more strict. You see, you have those 4 things. The Gemara answers, well, you're getting carried away. Hanach nefishin. Sacrifices has more. And so therefore, we're going to eliminate truma from the prohibition. We're going to allow truma to get benefit from it while it's being burnt. If you want, we have another pshat. We could just say like this, that kodesh is chamer shekin anish kares. Well, you're looking for all of these fine details. The main thing is that kadshim, if you eat kadshim, sacrifices, and the person's tummy, there's kares. That you don't have to look any further. You don't need to list a whole bunch of fine details. When you have this as a huge issue. What is kares? We said that a person dies young and his children pass away. We explained once the Gemara Yerushalmi in Bikurim explains how kares works, that he dies. Person's life is 70 years. You take away the first 20, that doesn't have punishment from Beis Din Shalmaila. So he's left with, we said a person's life is 80 years. Bigvuris Shemanim Shana. He's left with 60 years because you take away the first 20, which don't count. He loses half his life, which means he loses 30 years. you add the 30 to the 20, he's left with 50. That's why it says the person dies at 50. I think in other places it says he dies at 60. But could be that's Misa B'dei Shemayim. Was it Rabbi Yosi made a party when he was 60 years old? Then obviously he wasn't Chayiv Kares. Okay. The Alter Rebbe wrote and he explains in why we're able to live longer even if we have a Chayiv Kares nowadays. This is because we don't get our Chayas directly from Kedusha. If we would be getting our Chayas directly from Kedusha, then the Chayas would stop. But because we get our Chayas from Klipa, so we're able to live longer and like that. But then Alter Rebbe says that every person can decide if he wants to get his Chayas from Kedusha. I'm not sure exactly how you make that decision. Okay. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak Amar. Rav Nachman Yitzchak says Amar Kra. It says in the pasuk Titein Lai. It says that you give to the Kayan Truma. And when it says Lai, you give it to him. Lai v'lai la'ayrai. They say you give it to him to eat, but not for him to burn. Oh, so interesting. That means you're not supposed to give him truma that's tameh. You're supposed to give him truma from things that are tar. But while you're saying that, you're also saying that there was a possibility that you could give it to him to burn. Aha, there's such a thing that getting benefit from burning truma. Miklal de basayrihu, obviously, that it was fit to be burnt and to be used from burning. Okay, there was an added detail in there that we didn't necessarily know, but okay. Tosfos says that maybe you see from the fact that it says burning, automatically it says burning, which means you get light, a bas ayre. Lai v'lai la'ayre, not for light. Oh, so you would be getting a benefit from it, for the light. And Tosfos says that Titin Lai tells me the Titin, the gift, tells me that there has to be some benefit from it. And that's why we're adding that in. Okay. It says, don't give it to him for this benefit, that slight benefit of just getting light from it, to give it to him to actually be able to consume. Okay, we learned in the Mishnah where Rabbi Shmuel says that you shouldn't use itron. We said that itron is some sort of pitch or tar that has a terrible smell. Okay. My timer. What's the reason? Rabbi Shmuel Mechulu. That's a quote from the Mishnah. My timer. What's the reason that we're not supposed to use that? Well, Amar Rava, or maybe it's Rabba, mitoich shereichei ra, has a bad smell. Maybe it's a decree. Maybe he'll leave it burning and he's going to walk out. Amalei Abaya. Abaya says, well, v'yetze, let him go out. What? Like, why? What's the big deal? Maybe he's going to leave. It's like, I'm going to do what my father did. Right? So I said, well, so what's the problem? Like, well, so go ahead. So, Amalei, Shani Yaimer, Hadlakas Ner b'Shabbos Chayva. No, we say that lighting the candle on Shabbos is an obligation. Now, there's a detail that needs to be added in there. What it means is that it's an obligation to eat the meal at the fire, by the candles as well. Oh, so you have to be there, but to eat it. That's what we're adding in over here. And as the Gemara doesn't spell that out clear, Halakas Ner b'Shabbos Chayva just means I would have to light it. Rashi says, Kavod Shabbos hu she'ein suda chashuva ela b'makom or ke'en yamama perik basu diyuma. That must be Dr. Stein, where the Gemara says that eating next to by the light is more enjoyable. That must be in Yuma. That's it. Okay. So the Amar Rav Nachman bar Rav Zavda, v'Amila Amar Rav Nachman bar Rav Amarav, Hadlakas Ner b'Shabbos Chayva. Lighting the candle for Shabbos is an obligation, which means eating there as well. And Rechitzas Yadayim V'raglayim b'chamin arvis is rishus. And washing the hands and the feet in hot water, warm water, on Friday afternoon is voluntary. Vani Aimer mitzvah. I say it's not just voluntary, I say it's a mitzvah. Who's saying that? Rav Nachman. Bar Rava is saying in the name of Rav. Dam Rav Yehuda Rav. So Rav Yehuda says in the name of Rav, Kachay Menhagir Shel Rabbi de Eily. This was the custom of Rabbi Yehuda de Eily. Erev Shabbos meviim le'arevim le'achamin. On Erev Shabbos, they would bring in a bucket full of warm water. V'reichetz panav yadav v'raglav. He would wash his face and hands in it. He would wash his face and his face, feet, and hands and feet. A Masatif, he would wrap himself. The Yeshiv b'sadinim hamitziyatzim, and he would sit in a linen garment. Sadin is a linen like sheet, linen garment, cloak, and that had tzitzis on it. Now tzitzis in those days when they had tchelas, the tchelas, which is the blue color, needed to be wool that was dyed blue. You couldn't dye another material blue. That's not how it worked. Tchelas was blue wool. So he would put tchelas, blue wool, on his linen tzitzis. And he was comparable to an angel of God. His students were there, and they would hide the corners of their tzitzis from him. Because they didn't want him to see that they were also dressed in linen. Apparently, maybe this could be a source where you don't wear wool on Shabbos. Maybe we wear silk or something. This could be a source. They were also wearing the same sort of thing, but they didn't put tzitzis on it. This is a machlokes if they didn't put any tzitzis at all, or if they didn't put just the tchelas on it. Amalahem, I guess he sees what's going on. He says, Banai, have I not taught you? Sudden b'tzitzis, a linen garment with tzitzis, Beishamai Paitrim Beisil Machayven. Beisil says Yechayev, even though it's wool and linen. Why? Because Beisil holds that it says in the pasuk, Lisil Bashatnes, Gedilam Tasalacha. Don't wear wool and linen, but you should make tzitzis for yourself. And because it says it right next to each other, it's coming to tell me that the pasuk of making tzitzis is coming to override the prohibition of shatnez. That you're allowed to wear tzitzis, that's shatnez. That's the opinion of Beis Hillel. It has to do with deir smuchim, because it says it right next to each other. And v'halacha k'dev Beis Hillel. And the halacha is like Beis Hillel. However, the student said, no, because let's say, so machlekes is what k'sus laila means, but let's say you're going to wear the tzitzis in a situation where you're exempt from the mitzvah. Then you'll be wearing shatnez without the allowance, the dispensation of the mitzvah that gives you that heter. When would that be? If you're wearing it at night, because tzitzis is only chayav by day. If you wear the tzitzis past shkia, then you'll be wearing shatnez at a time when you're not chayav to wear tzitzis. Okay, what exactly does it mean k'sus laila? K'sus laila, Rashi says k'sus shem yuchad l'laila. That means like it's a gzeira that maybe you'll put the tzitzis in pajamas. It means a garment that's specifically worn at night. He doesn't say what I was expecting it to say, that you may end up wearing it past. You may end up wearing it past Shkia. It just says you may end up putting the tzitzis onto a garment that's not worn specifically by day. You may end up putting it into a garment. Okay, so that's the opinion of the students, and so there was a machlekes here. Why would we bring this Gemara? We wanted to say that you're supposed to wash your hands, face, and feet before Shabbos, and that's a mitzvah. Why did we bring that in? Because we wanted to say that adlakas ner is more than a mitzvah; it's a chayva. To sit by the candles is an obligation. Taisvus over here says, when we say that washing the hands is chayva, so mayim achreinim is also called the chayva. Okay, based on that, he says some people want to say that lighting the candles is the chayva. Lighting the candles is the chayva, is the obligation. Washing the hands is only the mitzvah rishus. But mayim achreinim is also called chayva. So some people wanted to say, well, mayim achreinim is a chayva, that you don't make a bracha on it. So therefore, lighting candles, you shouldn't make a bracha on it either. Rabbi, you see, basically, when it says chayva, we see other examples of chayva where it doesn't require a bracha. We don't make a bracha on mayim achreinim. Big question, why not? The Rambam gives an interesting answer. He says, you don't make a bracha on anything that's because of sakana. But then, why do you make a bracha on the maika? If you put up a fence, that's also because of a sakana. And you do make a bracha, lases maika or something. If you put up a fence around your house, probably around the pool as well, you should say a bracha. I have to look into that, but there is a bracha there. So, but here they thought, if the Gemara calls it chayva, you don't say a bracha on it. So if that's the case, lighting candles, the Gemara calls it a chayva. You don't say a bracha. You only say a bracha on something that the Gemara calls a mitzvah. It's going to be a problem. You have to say a bracha when you take a bath before Shabbos. So anyway, Rabbi Natam says this is all a mistake. He says you can't compare it to mayim achreinim. That's for hatzala ba'alma. That's just to save you from danger. But ner, that's a chayva shel mitzvah, it's in Shabbos. There's many chayvas that require a bracha. He says some people wanted to give a different answer. They wanted to say that you don't always need to light Shabbos candles. For example, if the candles are burning already, so then you don't have to light it. If that's the case, so you're not going to say a bracha.
Why would they be lit in?
Tell me again.
Why would the lights be lit in if they weren't? It's not Shabbos yet.
Oh, maybe he lit them for the day. Somehow he had candles lit during the day. It wouldn't be common to do that because it would be a waste of candles. But let's say your house was dark, not enough windows, and you lit it. So if it would be a way of doing it with that, you didn't have to actually light the candles. Maybe you shouldn't say a bracha on lighting the candles. He says this is not a good reason. He says because we have other mitzvahs that potentially do not need to be performed, but when you do perform it, you say a bracha. For example, kisei adam. The Gemara tells us that if the wind blows the dirt over the blood, so you don't have to cover it anymore. He's comparing that to if the candles were lit before Shabbos, you don't have to light it. But nevertheless, if you do the mitzvah, you do say a bracha. Okay, so you do have to say a bracha. He gives another example. Someone that was born already with a bris. So there's an opinion that says that you don't have to take a drop of blood. However, if you do an actual bris, then you say a bracha. Okay, anyway, we have a bracha that we say, Asher Kedeshanu, and he quotes Rav Amram Goin. That's probably our earliest siddur. is the Siddur of it's called Seder Rabbi Amram Gaon. He was he's the one that like published an actual Siddur about 1,000 years ago. And then besides, Rabbeinu Tam says that if the candle was burning, you should put it out and light it again. Okay. Now, let's go a little further. Vatiznach mishalom nafshi. My soul was removed from peace. Nashisi taiva. I have forgotten goodness. My vatiznach mishalom nafshi. What is this referring to? Amar abavozu adlakas ner b'Shabbos. This is, I was removed from lighting candles on Shabbos. As we go into exile, we weren't at home. We weren't able to light the Shabbos candles. What is the peace that we didn't have? This is quoting a pasuk in Eicha. So the peace is lighting the Shabbos candles. That's what he considers peace. Nashisi teva. What is that? I've forgotten the goodness. What is this goodness? I'm Rabbi Yirmiyah Zubei Samerchatz. That's taking a bath or a bathhouse. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Zurachitzas Yadayim Raglayim Bechamen. This is just washing the hands and feet in hot water. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha says, Zumita na, this is a nice batter made. Kalim nam shala, with nice sheets on it. Rabba says, Zumita mutzas. This is referring to a bed that's made, spread out. And a wife that's adorned, worthy for a Talmud Chacham. Okay, it's an interesting expression. I don't know if you have other places. What does that mean? Adorned, worthy for a Talmud Chacham. It's a koilel wife. It's okay. Taner Rabbanan. Starting a brayse Ezeu Asher. Who is someone that's wealthy? You have to reread these things nowadays. Kol sheyesh le'nachas ruach b'asher divrei Reb Meir. Anyone that has enjoyment from his wealth, that's a wealthy person. Okay. Siman mem tes kuf samach. This is a siman for the names of the Tanoim that are going to be mentioned. It's interesting. It throws it in after the first one. So mem is the mayor. The next one is going to be Tarfon. Then it's going to be, the kuf is going to be Akiva. It drops the ayin. Drops. That's why I would think it drops the anything that's not a full consonant. And then the samach would be Rabbi Yossi, as we'll see soon. Reb Tarfon, who happened to be actually wealthy, he says that who's a wealthy person? Someone that has 100 vineyards, 100 fields, and 100 servants that work them. Rabbi Kiva says anyone that has a wife that's good with their actions. This has got to be, they're referring to themselves. Everyone knows Rachel, Kiva's wife. Reb Tarfon was wealthy. I don't know how to explain Reb Meir. I don't know enough about him. I know he didn't have the best life. His two sons died. We know his wife had a difficult ending. Also, Bruria, if Rashi's story is correct. Rabbi Yossi says if he has a bathroom next to his table. Who was the one that said that he used, I think that was Rabbi Yehuda, I think. He said 24 bathrooms on the way, he used every one on his way to Shul. So here, a bathroom next to his table. The Chassidim would teach this. A bathroom next to the table means that we're not talking about an usher in physical wealth. We're talking about the usher bedas. Ein usher el bedas. And a bathroom next to his table means that he recognizes that all his indulgences and food is just going to end up going to the bathroom. So he has a bathroom near his table. It means that he has the right intention. He eats for holy purposes, not to because this food, that food, it's all the same. Okay. Tanya was taught in a brayser. Reb Shimon ben Elazar says, "Ein madlikim b'tzari." You can't use balsam oil. My timer. What's the reason for that? This is exactly the opposite of Itron. Itron was it smelt and you might leave. Rabbi says because the smell is so good, you might say, "Wow, that smells good." You'll stick your finger in and take a little oil out of the reservoir of oil. You'll end up using it. Taking oil out of a candle is extinguishing. Amalei Abaya says, "Why are you saying that reason?" Abaya is responding to his teacher. Leima mar mipnei shuaf. Say that it's dangerous. It could catch on fire, and it could attach to the walls of the house. Rashi adds in, the whole house could burn down from balsam. It wasn't safe to use. The Gemara says Chadavait Kamar. He said one, and plus another reason. He wasn't saying that's the only reason. He was saying also. Chadav Pnei Shuaf. First of all, it's dangerous. Don't use balsam oil. Also, you might end up taking some oil out. There was a mother-in-law. This is there's got to be earlier stories of mother-in-laws, but this is pretty early, 2,000 years old. She hated her daughter-in-law. Amrullah, she said to her, Zil ikshit b'mishcha da farsama, go put on balsam oil. Azla ikshit, she went on, she put it on. Kiosas, when she came, Amrullah, she said to her then, Zil itli shraga, go take the candle, light the candle. Azla itli shraga. She went to light the candle. Inpach banura va'achalte. She blew up. She exploded. It blew into fire. It got caught on fire and burnt. It's quite a story the Gemara shares with us. Okay. Midalas aretz hishir nevuzradan rav tabachim lakarmim eliyoyvim. From the poor of the land, Nebuzaradan left. He destroyed the land of Israel. He left the poor there. What do they do? They're for the karmim. They work in the vineyards, the yoigvim. Some sort of what is a yugav? It must be. They translate it in the English. Some sort of press or something. Well, the Gemara is going to explain. It says, Karmim, what are the people that work the vineyards? These are people that collect balsam, me'en gedi va'ad ramasa, from En Gedi till Ramas. Okay, those are places where they collect it from. Yugvim elitzayde chilazon. These are people that catch the chilazon snail, where they get the blue dye from. Misulames shel tzur vad Haifa. From the high area of Tzur until Haifa. So those were the people that were left. Okay, let's go a drop further. Tana Rabbanan. Ein madlikim betevel tamei b'chol v'en tzarich leim b'Shabbos. Okay, tevel is produce that the truma wasn't removed from. Now, we said that truma that's tamei, you're allowed to burn it and get the enjoyment of the light, or to use the fire. What's the problem with tevel? The truma wasn't removed. That means the truma is mixed in. So I could have thought, well, if I can burn the truma itself, so here I have the combination of truma and chulin, where the truma is supposed to be taken out and given to the kain. Here you didn't take it out, so it's in there. But even if it's taken out, I could burn it. So if it's in there, I could burn it as well. I could have thought that. Where it says no, you're not allowed to burn tevel. The truma wasn't removed on a weekday, and for sure not on Shabbos. Similarly, ein madlikin beneft lavan b'chol vein tzarich leim b'Shabbos. You can't use white naphtha. It's probably some sort of tar as well. In a weekday, and for sure not on Shabbos. Pishlam and naft lavan pnei shu'af. Oh, that's dangerous stuff. Can't use that. That we understand. that could catch on fire. Aval tevel tamei my time. What's the reason why you can't use tevel tamei? Tevel is the produce that the truma wasn't removed. Why can't you use it when it's tamei? Amar Kra, the pasuk says, "Vani hine nesatilchas mishmeres trumaisai b'shtei trumas akasim medaber achas truma tayra v'achas truma tameya." There's two trumas that are given to the kayan. One is pure and one is not pure. Ma truma tahira ein lach ba'el mishas rama ve'elach. Just like the truma tahira is only after it's removed. Af truma tameya ein lach ba'el mishas rama ve'elach. It's only considered that it's truma only after you remove it, which means that just because the truma is mixed in doesn't mean that it's truma and it's allowed to be burned. You can't do anything with it until it's actually removed, and then you can use it for burning. But while it's in there, it has a bigger prohibition than if it's removed, and then you can use it for whatever. Okay, let's leave it over here at Gufa.